everybody, we want to welcome you back to another one of our Mortgage Minutes. I'm here with one of my favorite lenders, Stacy Williams, who's with Guild Mortgage. Stacy, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Katie, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, so you guys know that I am really picky about the lenders that I work with. I've just a very small, less than a handful that I will refer out to you guys, and Stacy is right there on that list, and I so appreciate all of his wisdom and his willingness to share information with me and with you. And so today we're going to have a conversation about conventional loans versus FHA loans, okay? There are other types of loans out there. Maybe we'll have a conversation about those later. There's VA loans, very specific. There's USDA loans, very specific. But the main ones that we tend to deal with in real estate are the FHA and the conventional. So Stacy, would you take just a couple minutes here and explain to us the differences between conventional and FHA in whatever order you want to put them in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, I'm going to go ahead and dive into just a little bit down payment requirements. So FHA financing, the minimum down payment requirement is 3.5%, 3.5% of your purchase price. Where conventional, they have a 3% down option and then 5%, and then it goes on to 20%. You know, one of the big misconceptions on a conventional loan is that you have to do 20% down, right, which is obviously not correct. And I talk to a lot of clients that they're like, oh, well, I don't have 20% down. Don't worry, you don't need that. That's not the requirement. So I just want to make sure we touched on that. Now, FHA in general, a lot of first-time home buyers use that program, but you do not have to be a first-time home buyer to take advantage of that program. And the reason why, though, is it's going to be a bigger box to fit into as far as qualifying goes. So we have more flexibility on credit scores, credit history, income level, asset level, all those things. We have much more flexibility to work with. And that program was designed to help people buy their first home or to actually get into the market. And that program, because of its flexibility, is actually insured by the government. So an FHA loan is a government-backed loan, and they've set the parameters to allow this much flexibility, and the government's going to go ahead and insure that loan to make sure that in case the borrower defaults, the lending institution isn't left holding the bag.
Absolutely.
Okay. And now, when we compare that to a conventional loan, we have a much smaller box to fit into. So credit scores obviously is a factor, but credit history is going to be heavily scrutinized. Down payment, again, we can still do a smaller down payment, but still your assets are going to be looked at heavily. And then beyond that, your income level, you don't have as much flexibility. So let's just say, you know, your income level versus your debt load is pretty high, or your debt versus income ratio is pretty high. You're not going to be able to have as much buying power on a conventional loan as you would on an FHA loan. So we can say, like, if we have somebody who's just entering the market, they're in their first career, and you know they might have student loan debt, well, most likely they're going to be able to use an FHA loan to get to a higher price point to get the home that they really want.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect. So Stacy, okay, that is a great explanation about like what are the differences between the conventional and the FHA. There is a perception in the marketplace that conventional buyers are stronger than FHA buyers. Is that always the case? Is it sometimes the case? Is it never the case? What are your feelings on that?
I would have to, with those three options, sometimes the case. Only sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. You know,
okay. Yeah. Perfect. So that is, and that's the perception that's out there. That is, you know, when I have a listing and I'm accepting offers for my listing, that's one of the conversation pieces that I have with my sellers is like, okay, this is an FHA buyer, this is a conventional buyer, this is cash. You know, we have to talk about the different kinds of financing. Now, a lot of times in the marketplace right now, people will choose to go with the conventional buyer over the FHA buyer. And when you're in a really difficult market, like we're filming this right now in April of 2021. So right now we're in a really strong seller's market. And so these sellers have usually a lot of offers to look at, a lot of terms to consider, a lot of things that are going to help them make that decision. And so a lot of the sellers are choosing conventional buyers over the FHA buyer based on that perception that the conventional buyer is stronger than an FHA buyer. So let's you and I talk about how we can help our clients that are FHA buyers get their offers accepted, because certainly they've come a long way. They've done a lot of stuff to prepare themselves to buy a house, and they are qualified to buy a house. So from my perspective as an agent, when I'm listing a house, one of the things that I really, really appreciate is a lender like yourself who will pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, let me tell you just a little bit about my buyer and why you should accept their offer. So can you tell people why you do that and how that has worked out for you and some of your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a testament to, like, you, Katie, Living 48, and your partners. You're representing your client. You're trying to do what you can to help get their offer accepted. We need to be the same as you. We need to be fighting for these clients as well, just as much as you are. And so when you do submit your offers, you let us know. We reach out to the listing agent. We endorse the buyer's offer. And it looks something like, hey, Katie, we have so-and-so who's buying a home. They submitted an offer with FHA financing. We just want to let you know, look, we've thoroughly vetted their file. They are well qualified. They have excellent income assets. Yet there's no problem with them. And we guarantee that they're going to close this loan on time with the least amount of headache. And so it's part of that effort that we are both there to support the buyer and to do everything we can to get their offer accepted.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now on one of the other things that I feel like a buyer could do to improve their offers is to not just be pre-qualified, but to go a little bit further and get to that pre-acceptance or
Pre-approval.
Pre-approval. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in this market, it is critical, because you will be competing.
Yes.
To not just have a pre-qualification. So a pre-qualification is essentially, you go online, you fill out an application. They say, based on the information that you put in here, you're pre-qualified. There's no verification. There's no follow-up to check to ensure that that information is accurate. So that constitutes a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval. Okay, send us your W-2, send us your paycheck, send us your bank statements. We've vetted it all. We've confirmed it and verified it. And that's when you get the pre-approval. We call it the golden ticket.
Yeah.
And that's your golden ticket to go out and either look at houses or make an offer.
Yeah. And then when I, as your agent and as your lender, I can then go to that listing agent and say, hey, look, we're not just pre-qualified, we're pre-approved. All we need is the house. We've got our golden ticket. We're ready to go. We just need an accepted contract on the house, and we're ready to launch into the appraisal and those kinds of things. So it really does make us so much stronger in the marketplace. And so it's a great thing that we can do for our FHA buyers, is to get them to that point first, and then make sure that we communicate that information to the listing agent, who can then take it and communicate it to her seller and make them feel confident that our offer is every bit as strong as the conventional offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your lender and your realtor matter, believe it or not.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And it's just such a great thing that you and I can do for our buyers, is to really make sure that the other agent is understanding exactly where we are, so that they can, essentially go fight for us as well. They want it to close for their client. They want the best deal for their client. And so when we show them, hey, look, this is where we're at, this is this buyer, this is who we are, this is who the lender is, they're willing to go to bat for us. They're willing to help us get our offers accepted as well. So it really is a great thing and a great service if we can get our clients a little bit further along, a little bit of a leg up on everybody else. And especially if we're going FHA to conventional, if we can take that FHA just right to here, and then it becomes in the seller's mind, instead of being like this, we're actually more like this. And that helps us a lot getting these offers accepted. All right, Stacy, any last words that you want to tell anybody about FHA versus conventional, or anything that they ought to be aware of, any differences there?
I think, if you have a borrower or a client, you're buying your house and you might be in the mid-level credit score range, FHA is going to be a better loan solution. You might be qualified for both programs, which again is part of the misconception. You might be qualified to use both programs, but because you chose FHA because it gave you a better monthly payment, shouldn't discount your offer. For sure. Yeah. You picked that loan for the right reason.
That's right. And again, that's something that you and I can then convey over to that other agent and say, hey, look, they're qualified to go conventional. We're making a choice because of the terms for our buyer. And so you know, that helps as well. That really helps as well. Well, Stacy, I again just want to thank you for being the absolute wealth of information that you are, and for being willing to share this information with me and with my clients. And you know, everyone knows that one of the things that I feel most strongly about is being a resource to people, that I want to be there to answer questions and help and give referrals and those kinds of things. And it is so great to have partners that feel the exact same way that I do. And I know that you feel that way as well. So on behalf of both Stacy and I, we would like to just remind you that please feel free to call us, ask us your questions. You're not wasting our time. It's fine if you're 2 or 3 years out. We want to help make sure that you're in the best possible position, so that when 2 or 3 years rolls around, you're ready to rock and roll, and we can be there to cheer you on and help you every step of the way. So Stacy, in line with that, what is the best way that people can get in touch with you?
Would be to give me a call at this point, which is our team phone number is 480-454-5625. And you can also find our contact information on Katie's website.
That's right. That's right. You can jump over to our website, which is www.living48realestate.com. Of course, you go all over to the side where it says more, and then down to preferred vendors. You will find our lender referrals, and Stacy's right there on that list with all of his contact information, website, and everything else. So Stacy, thank you so much again for pouring into us, for pouring into our clients, and for taking the time out of your busy day to come and chat with us here. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie.
Awesome. All right, everybody, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you guys on our next Mortgage Minute video. Have a good one.
Bye.